So good morning to all of you. I'll be discussing the topic of file handling in C++ with you guys. Uh, Most of you know me. I'm Ajay Sharma, Associate Professor in Department of Computer Science, Amritsar College of Engineering and Technology, Amritsar. This is my brief profile. And most of you have subscribed to my YouTube channel. You can subscribe so that you can get the latest, videos in programming, databases, big data analytics, and so on. This is the outline of today's lecture. I'll conduct the lecture in such a way that whatever we are studying, whatever we are discussing, I'll be running it simultaneously on the IDE of C++. If you have any problems, you can raise your hands to ask your question, right? I'll give you ample time to ask your questions. So kindly raise the hand only when there is some question, all right? So currently nobody has raised the hand, that's fine. So let's begin. My lecture will have these topics. Let's see how much we can cover today. Otherwise, I'll be taking another lecture on Friday. So basically, we'll have an introduction to the file handling. Then we'll discuss about the file stream classes. We'll also discuss the steps that are required to conduct file operations, how to calculate or how to find the end of file, what are the various file opening modes, what are file pointers and manipulators, what is sequential input and output, and what is random input and output, and what is error handling functions, and a topic command line arguments would also be discussed with you all. So you see, when we have a large amount of data that we need to handle, we would require a floppy disk or a hard disk. That is, we would require a secondary storage medium to store that data. Okay, and the data that would be there would be stored in these devices using the concept of files. You've already learned file handling in C. The file handling in C++ is similar, only that the commands would have some different syntax. The concept would be the same, that is to store the data that is generated in your programs in some physical medium with the help of file. So you can consider C++ as a front end and your file as a back end which stores the data. Okay, and you can write programs to perform read and write operations on files. Okay, so basically when we are dealing with files, we are talking about read and write operations. Now the input-output system of C++ handles your file operations similar to your console input and output operations. Okay, so what are console input and output operations? Can somebody answer this question? What are console input and output operations? You can raise your hands if you wish to answer. Throughout the lecture, we'll have a lot of interaction. It won't be a one-way traffic that I am speaking only. All right. Inderjeet, you can answer. Isinder, please speak. You can answer. Unmute yourself.
For example, cout are the
All right. Angad wants to answer. Yes, Angad.
Uh, Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Louder, Angad. Your voice is very low.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah.
सर जो ऑपरेशंस कंसोल पर होते हैं जैसे सी आउट हो गया या गेट सी एच हो गया जो कंसोल पर प्रिंटिंग के लिए जो यूज किया जाती है.
Okay. Perfect. That is right. So the basically the console input output operations are the C in and C out, right?
Yes.
All right. So your input output, the file handling operations, they are similar to your console input output operations. Okay. Now this file handling uses file streams. Okay. There's something known as a file stream, which is used to perform or create an interface between your programs and files. Okay. So the stream that supplies data to the program is called the input stream, and a stream that receives data from the program is called the output stream. I repeat, there are streams which correlate or form an interface between your programs and files. The stream that supplies data to the program is called the input stream, and a stream that receives data from the program is called the output stream. And the main task of input stream is to extract data from the file, okay, and output stream inserts data into the file. So if we are using an input stream, the idea is to read data from a file, or to pick up data from the file, or to extract data from the file. And if you need to insert something in your file, if you need to insert some data into your file, then you require an output stream. The input operation would involve creation of an input stream and linking it with the program and input file. See, there are streams and there are files. Files, could be mentioned through file names. So whenever you're doing file handling, there would be a stream. I'm talking of C++. There would be a stream, whether input or output stream, which would be linked with the file. Okay, that way you can either store the data or you can read the data from the file. Now, these are the following, file stream classes in C++. If stream is there, off stream is there, and f stream is there. Okay, three file stream classes are there. If stream stands for input file stream, off stream stands for output file stream, and f stream stands for both. If you need to perform input and output simultaneously, then the class that you would use is f stream. And all these three classes are derived from the f stream base class. And these classes, they are designed to manage the disk files, and they are declared in f stream. So whenever you're using file handling in C++, you need to include this file fstream.h in your program. I repeat, if you are going to deal with input, some reading from file, you would require the usage of if stream class. If you are dealing with storing data into a file, off stream class. And if you want to do both these tasks simultaneously, you would require the f stream class. Okay, and these three classes are derived from the f stream base. You know the concept of inheritance, right? So they are deriving their attributes, their functions from the class f stream base. And if you use, if you need to work with these classes, then you need to, include this file fstream.h into your program. Yes, Manpreet?
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Sir, I want to confirm that off stream is uses for input to the file, and if stream is used
No,
for
stream is input file stream. That means reading from a file. Okay. Off stream
if
is,
stream is reading from the file and off stream is writing into the file.
yes.
Yes, sir.
If is input file stream, right? So you need
It
to,
uses for
yeah,
reading the file.
reading the data from the file, right?
File.
Off stream is output file stream, writing the data into the file. And
Okay, sir.
ideally we don't use these. I'll be discussing this with you, but we are dealing with f stream, in which we are dealing with doing this input and output tasks simultaneously,
Okay, thank you, sir.
right? All right. Any other question? Somebody else raised the hand. Mohammed Arish, I suppose. Was it by mistake? Okay, all right. You can raise your hands anytime, but initially just give me 10-15 minutes to, just start this discussion. Okay, we'll be discussing each and everything through the practical aspect we'll be seeing. Okay, but we need to discuss or start some theoretical discussion before we can actually do that. So Inder wants to ask a question. Yes, Inder, go ahead. Inder, your voice is not coming. Are you speaking? Inder, you're not audible. Yeah, go ahead.
सर स्ट्रीम आता है
Yes. Now, you want to ask something in the?
यस सर स्ट्रीम क्या आता है
Stream is, stream क्या होता है? Like if you are, this is a flow of, data. So if you are directing data to a file, you're sending some data to a file. So that would be with the help of an output file stream. if you want to read data from a file, so it would be requiring a input file stream. Okay, and if you want to do all these both these tasks simultaneously, then we have a file stream for that. Okay, stream is a mechanism through which you can perform the file handling
Yes,
of,
sir.
and it is this IO. This thing is similar to your console stream functions, the C in and C out. The similar. We'll just see it how, right?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. So we were discussing that if we need to read data from our file, then we require an input file stream or ifstream class to store data into a file, output file stream, and to do these both these tasks simultaneously, we require the fstream class. So in most of our programs in file handling, we are dealing with the fstream class. But I'll show you the some of the working of ifstream and offstream also, right? So what are the steps in file handling? You know, while you are dealing with file handling, what are the steps? One more request to all of you, that while you are, having this interaction, this class with me, you can take these screenshots of all these slides. They would be helpful later on. So kindly take a screenshot, whichever slide you find is good, you can take a screenshot of that. Then steps in file handling. First step is selecting a suitable name for the file. Okay. So a file must have a name before we can, do some input output operations with it. And the second one is the purpose for which we are using the file, technically which is known as the mode in which the file should be opened. Okay. Then how to open the file? Okay, a file can be opened either using the constructor of the concerned class or using some member function. We'll see both of them. And then the important thing, some functions they correlate to text files and some functions they correlate to binary files. So two types of files we'll be dealing, text or binary files. So can somebody tell me the difference between these two? What is a text file and binary file? What is a text and a binary file? What is the technical difference between these? Yes, Angad, go ahead.
सर जो डिफरेंस होता है सर, टेक्स्ट फाइल में सर सिंपल टेक्स्ट जो हम लिखते हैं, एंड सर जो बाइनरी फाइल्स में सर वो टेक्स्ट को कोडेड फॉर्म 0 और 1 में स्टोर कर देता है सर, कि
बाइनरी
कोई
फॉर्म में होता है.
Yes,
Which one is better?
सर आई थिंक बाइनरी फाइल इज बेटर देन टेक्स्ट फाइल्स, क्योंकि वो yes, sir.
All right, fine. That's a correct answer, right? So text or binary files, in text files, whatever you store in it and if you try to access it, it is visible as it is in the text form. And in binary files, it is encoded according to some encoding algorithm. And binary files are always a better choice for storing your important data, right? Angad, you can lower your hand, please. Thank you. So we'll be discussing all these steps in file handling. See, I'll be going very slow on this topic. Okay, let's build up this topic first. Let's not rush through with it. I'll be writing a lot of small programs, and towards the end of the today's lecture, we'll be writing one small application, very small application, right? So if you want to really learn file handling, then I'm expecting you, attending this class, having at least a copy and pen with you, and not just listening or looking at your mobile or laptop. So ideally, I would be expecting you to write a lot of things, some syntax also, right? So the steps in file handling: selecting a suitable name, the purpose in which the file needs to be opened, the mode. There are a large number of modes in C++ file handling. Then how to open the file, either using the constructor of the concerned class that we are using or using some member function of the class. And finally, what type of file we want to deal with, text or binary. This would depend, text or binary would depend which function we are using to interact with the file. Okay, we'll see how. Now, the file name that I told you in the previous slide, I told you we need to select a suitable name for the file, right? So the file name it is a string of characters, okay, and there are two parts in a file name. There is a name and there is an extension, which is separated by a dot or with a period. Okay, you may have an extension for a file, you may not have an extension for a file, but a proper extension would tell you what kind of file it is. For example, if the name of the file is a1.txt, that means it's a text file. Okay, you may use this name to even use a binary file, but ideally the extension would suggest what type of file you are dealing with, right? So a1.txt, it's a text file. abc.dat is a binary file or a data file, right? So extension is important, and choosing good names for your files is also good, so that just by looking at the name and extension, you are clear what sort of data that file would contain. Okay, now to open a file, first we need to create a file stream, okay? And then we link it to the file name. Two steps, right? First we need to create a file stream. So if we are, if we wish to use a file to store data, we would be picking up off stream. If we want to read data from an existing file, we would be picking up a if stream. And if we want to do both these tasks simultaneously, we would be picking up f stream. Okay, so a file stream can be defined using the classes if stream, off stream, and f stream, right? And a file can be opened in two ways, either using the constructor function of the class or using the member function open of the class. So in all these three classes, there would be an open function, and which would be used to open the file. And there is also a provision that you can use the constructor of the if stream, off stream, or f stream classes to open or open a file, right? I'm sure you are aware of what a constructor is, right? Let's see, let's ask somebody about constructor. All right, yes, Anisha, unmute yourself.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Anisha, can you tell us what is a constructor? You must have learned it in OOPS.
Yes, sir.
All
So
right,
constructor which has same name as class
you are telling me
is
the
automatically
wait. You are telling me the characteristic of a constructor. You started like a constructor has the. I'm asking you what a constructor is. Answer that question first. What is
sir,
the
a
constructor?
special member function of the
Yeah,
class.
that is the correct. It's a special member function of the class. Okay, go ahead.
Then it is automatically called when the object of that class is created.
Perfect. And it has the same name as the
Class.
class, right? It has got the same name as the class, automatically invoked. Okay, no need, it need not be invoked through the object. So whenever you create an object, the constructor is
Automatically called.
automatically invoked or executed. All right, so with this concept of a constructor, we can use this, we can open up a file, and most of the times we use the member function open of the class to open the file. Okay, and we can see that the constructor function is useful only when you're using a single file at a time, a single operation, either you are using it for input or using it for output. Now the second method, that is the open method, would be when you want to manage multiple files and you want to manage multiple operations simultaneously. Okay, so are we clear about this slide? This is an important one. After this, I'll switch to your C++ IDE. If we need to work with file handling, we must create a file stream first. So the options with us would be using the if stream, off stream, or f stream. If stream only if we are dealing with reading the data from the file. Off stream if we are interested in writing the data to a file. If we are interested in doing both the tasks simultaneously, we'll be dealing with the f stream class. And two ways to open the file, either using the constructor or using the member function open. And most of the times we go with the open function. Okay, so I'll just switch now to your C++ IDE. It will take a minute to load, I suppose. Okay. So we have some code already there. Just a second, just let me just configure it accordingly so that I can see both the screens simultaneously. Yeah. So if you can see this C++ IDE, you can give me a raised hand, all of you. That's important because we'll be switching between the two, this thing. Give me a raised hand. Yeah, thank you. Right. You can lower your hands now. So we'll go, I'll now switch to a full screen for some time. All right. So I'll write one program for you first. Okay. I'll write. So I've taken, I've included the file fstream.h. You can see, right? I've included the file fstream.h. So first I'll tell you how to use offstream using the constructor function. So I'm opening up a file. I'll open a file, say CSE3. I'll open up this file CSE3. Okay. I'm creating this file. Can all of you see this? I'm creating when offstream class is used. I'm using the constructor, and I'm doing it like this. Okay, offstream f1. I'm creating an object and passing the CSE3, string to it. So a file with the name as CSE3. Let's give it a name as CSE3.txt is created, right? And now, just like what do you do with your cout? You write your cout like this. Am I right? Okay. So similarly, you will write like this, f1. Okay. So now this will stream this string to the file which is being pointed by f1. Okay. So this text Ajay Sharma would be transferred to the file csc3.txt. Okay. So let's save this and let's run this. Okay. So it is okay. If I run it, okay, no message is there because only the task that is performed at this Ajay Sharma string is stored in the file. Let's see that. Let's go to our DOS shell. Okay. And let's first look for this file directory csc3.star. So we can see that a file has been created, csc3.txt, with a size of 11 bytes, created at 9:54. So if you want to see the contents, you can type csc3.txt. You can see the string Ajay Sharma is stored in it. Okay. Stay with me now. I'll just add one more thing here. I'll again stream it to the file. I'll write like this here. Okay. I'll again run the program. Okay. And then I'll again go to the DOS shell and I'll type the contents of the file csc3.txt. So you see, when you are inserting again, it is inserted as such. There is no space between two insertions. Keep this thing in mind, right? So if this is clear, if this step is clear, how to use offstream, offstream is basically when you want to create a file and store data into it. Okay, then you can use offstream. I'm using the constructor method of offstream, as you can all see. Okay, how to use it? Offstream is the class name, f1 is the object name. Okay, so when I'm creating an object and passing a string to it, then the constructor is invoked and a file is created. The constructor is designed in such a way that it will create the file. And then just like your cout, it will stream the strings to your file whenever you wish. Okay. Is this clear? You need to raise a lot of hands today, please. Since you are muted, so if it is clear, give me a raised hand, please, all of you. All of you do this exercise. Yeah, I can wait, all of you. And I hope all of you are listening to me because this is a very, very important concept. Would be there in most of the projects that you do later on. Only that instead of your file, some database would be coming there. The concept would always remain the same, connecting your front end with a back end. So kindly listen to it very, very carefully. Okay. Thank you. You can lower your hands now. Thank you. Now I'll change it. Okay, let's ask somebody. Just a second. I want to. Let me pick up Kabir Piplani. Kabir, unmute yourself.
Yes, sir.
Kabir, you want me to share these programs with you so that I can, create separate files, or shall I just keep on explaining? It's fine.
Sir, the text form of these programs.
Whatever, like t1.cpp is currently we have written. Would this class like, me to share this with all of you so that I
No,
can
sir.
create? I
We,
think it's
I am noting down side by side, sir.
okay. I'm asking you because you are the CR. Okay, but I'll ask the class as a whole. Do you want, if you want me to share these small code with you, then you can raise hands. Seeing the raised hands, I can understand whether you require these files or not. The CPP files. Disha Talwar is the first to raise hand. Prateet Jyoti. All right, I'll share. So I'll be creating. Thank you. You can lower your hands, all of you. Thank you very much. Thank you. I'll create separate programs. This is the first one off stream. Now let's create another one. Let's save it. I'll keep on creating programs like this, right? So now I'll use the open method. So for that, I'll first create an object. Then with the help of this object, I'll use the open method. The idea would be the same, f1.open. So let's pick up another name here, CSE1.txt. Okay. So another way of opening your file through the open method would be first to create an object, and through that object access the open member function of the class of stream and pass an argument to it. Okay. And then we can give some string here, say ct agc, something like this. And here we can have Amritsar. Okay, so this will also do the same task that we did in our previous program. Okay, if I run it, that's fine. So a new file CSE31 would be created now. As you can see, we type CSE31.txt, you can see the contents, right? Okay, so we have opened the file opened it for creation purpose and storing data in it using the offstream object. Okay, and using the constructor function as well as using the open method or open member function of the class of stream. Now let's focus on if stream, right? Important program. You can note it accordingly. So I'll again save it with another name. I'll be using if stream now. Like I'll be reading data from the files. We just store data in the file, right? So if stream f1, and we'll open the file. Now we have opened the file for reading. Remember, if you are opening a file through if stream object open for reading, and if the file does not exist, it will give you an error. Okay, it will give you an error, right? Remember this. Whenever you are opening a file for reading and the file does not exist, there is an error. Okay, we'll be discussing those errors today later on. And then just like reading, you can take some char object here. Okay, you can take some char object here, and what you can do is you can write here. Look very carefully what I'm doing. Okay, can somebody suggest me, if I run this code, what would be the answer? You see, I'm using if stream. That means I want to read data from the file. Okay, and then just like cin, okay, I've written it like this. So it is going to read from f1 and store in x, somewhat similar to this. So what would be the output? Can somebody answer this question? Angad wants to answer. Angad, be careful in answering this time, okay? Yeah, please answer, Angad.
सर सिर्फ यहाँ पर एक ही करेक्टर प्रिंट होगा जो भी फाइल में स्टोर है.
Achha, Angad, stay with me. I've got your answer. Stay with me.
Okay.
I'll just show you the contents of the file. Type CSE31.txt. इसमें ये कंटेंट्स हैं अंगद फाइल में, ठीक है, ACET space AGC Amritsar. Okay, you are saying if I run the program that I've just written, it will just return the capital A of ACET. Is that your answer is?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's see how it behaves. Okay, I'm going to run this program now. ठीक है, do you see the output, Angad? Can you see the screen?
Yes, sir.
The output is ACET. Now, can you generalize what this, how it reads data from a file, from a text file?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, tell me.
Sir, वो space count.
Perfect, perfect, perfect. It will read till it finds a white space. Okay. Okay. अगर मैं इसको दोबारा रन करूं फिर, अगर मैं ऐसे इसको दोबारा रन करूं अब,
सर जो अगला वर्ड होगा वो प्रिंट कर देगा,
जो अगली स्पेस तक है वो प्रिंट कर देगा. Okay, so it will print ACET and then AGC Amritsar, right?
yes
See the
sir.
output. Can you see?
Yes
Okay.
sir.
All right.
Okay
So
sir.
now, yeah, thank you, Angad. You can mute yourself now. So you see, we cannot write these statements so many times. So we would require a loop. So important concept coming up in this part of the program, that is to read from a file till the end of the file. Okay. So it's very important to know about the end of the file. All right. So let's see how we can find this. I'll use this first. I'm writing this. Will this code help? Will this code help? Will this work? Fine. I'm using, I've opened a file for reading and I want to read everything from it. So I'm using an infinite loop. While one means I'm using an infinite loop. One is true. So I must, tell when the file ends. Okay. So for that in C, C++, in Java, there is the similar name function as EOF. Okay. So there is a function with the name as EOF, which returns true if the end of the file has occurred and returns false if end of file has not occurred. Okay, how I can use it? I can use it here. I can use it like this. If, okay, f1 dot EOF. Okay, this is if I put this, f1 dot EOF, I'm calling the EOF function. Please listen carefully, all of you. I'm calling the EOF function. It is a part of your if stream class. So I'm calling it with the object f1. So if the end of the file has occurred, then this function will return true. So what we should do at the end of the file, we should end this loop, right? So what I can do here is I can put a break here. Okay, this is one way of checking the end of the file. I'll discuss other ways also today. So what we have done now, just see the program. I've opened a file first. Okay, then I've used an infinite loop. I read from the file. It will read till the first white space. Okay, and I print it. Then I check whether the end of the file has occurred or not. So if this f1.euf will return true if end of the file has occurred. So if is having a true condition, then it will break. It will come out of this loop. So see whether we can see the complete output here. Right? Okay. So with this one, we can read the entire contents of the file. Important thing this. One way of using this end of file, we'll have some other way also pretty soon. But this is one easier way of finding the end of file. You can start an infinite loop here. Any infinite loop can be, you can put one inside a while, or any non-zero value you can put inside a while loop. It will keep on running, and you check the end of the file here. Okay. Remember this f1.euf returns either a true value or a false value. It returns true if end of the file has occurred. It returns false if end of file has not occurred. Okay. So if end of file has occurred, it will return true, and if would be encountering the break statement and the loop will end. Till the time the file is not ended, it will keep on reading from the file and displaying it on the screen. Okay, this is the usage of if stream. Okay, an important thing in each one of your programs, remember, always use this. because you'd be writing projects later on. Whenever one file has been used and its purpose is over, either you are reading from it or you are writing to it, you must close it. Okay, because if you are writing, if you are in a multi file program, if you don't open and close files properly, they will create a problem for you. Okay, so close function is used to close the stream to the file. After that, you see, if I write something like f1 and say x, it has no meaning, because now f1 is no longer linked, it is not streaming to the CSE31.txt file. So once the file is closed, any operation with the file is not possible. Okay, so this was regarding till this slide. So if everything is clear, I'll just go back here, like we started from here. Okay, just a quick recap for all of you if somebody has joined late. Okay, we need files to store data permanently, so we can use some secondary storage medium for that. And the IO system of C++ is handling file operations similar to your console input and output operation, C in and C out. You've just seen it. Okay, and the input operation with files would involve creation of an input stream and uh, a concerned file. Okay, and we link that stream with the file. And similar, the output operation needs a output stream which we link with the file. Okay, then three classes are there: if stream, off stream, and f stream, and they are all derived from the f stream base. So whenever you want to use any of these classes in your program, you must include the file fstream.h in your program, the header file fstream.h. Okay, the steps in file handling: you must first select a suitable name, because a name would tell you what are the contents of the file, what sort of contents the file is having. Then the purpose in which you need to open the file. Right now we had fixed purpose: if stream, off stream. If stream meant reading and off stream meant writing. Okay, but when we work simultaneously with read and write operations, a lot of modes would be there for you to consider. We are going to discuss them next. And then opening a file could be either using the constructor function or using the member function open of the class. And we could be dealing with text or binary files. The difference has been highlighted by a few students. And then these are the steps, just a summary of what we did. Okay, now let's come to the file opening modes when we are dealing with with files which are having taking these operations simultaneously. So I'm having a pause of a few seconds, waiting for some questions from you. Anything that you've not understood. All these three programs that we have written, small programs, would be shared with you, but their usage must be clear to you. So I'm waiting for your questions. I'm giving you a 15 seconds window to ask your questions, please, by raising your hands, of course. All right, I think all clear. Now let's get to the interesting part now. Okay, we'll be dealing with F stream now. Okay, we'll be dealing with the F stream class. That is, we would be doing reading and writing simultaneously. We won't be going to if stream, off stream. We'll be just be dealing with an F stream object. Okay, so let's hit F stream. We'll come to this slide after say 5 to 10 minutes. Let's go to our the C++, and let's say if we have any program with us, say this program. Okay, so I've written this program to highlight, we'll be discussing the modes, the streams in it, a lot of things. So kindly keep on writing. Okay, writing would help you to understand these concepts very well. So in this program, I've taken an fstream object f1. When I take an fstream object, that means this object can handle input and output, that is read and write simultaneously. Okay, fine. And I've taken a string. Okay, I've taken a string here, and I've taken a variable n. I've inputted the string. So let's just format this program. Let's just document it properly. Enter a string, right? So we are entering a string, and then I calculate the length of the string. I hope the strings topic is clear to you. It's simple. String can be inputted using the gets or the cin. Gets is a better option because it reads till the end of the file. And then calculate the length of the string. Okay, and then I've opened a file aj1. Okay, let's make it Ajay1.txt. Now see, when you're using the fstream class, then this open method is overloaded. You can have two arguments in it. Okay, there are two arguments in open method. One is the name of the file, because in if stream and off stream, just by the name of the class, it was understood that if stream, that means input, off stream, that means output. But here you're using an f stream object and you want to tell that what sort of operations you would be performing on this file. So right now we are using the modes iOS out and iOS in. All these modes are a part of the class iOS. That's why they are written like this. I hope you understand the scope resolution operator there, which resolves the scope that this out mode is belonging to this iOS class, right? So with this statement f1.open ajay1.txt iOS out and iOS in, I am opening a file for reading as well as writing purpose. And you can see that the open method here can have two arguments. One is the name of the file and one is the mode. And multiple modes are separated by a single pipe. Kindly see that. Multiple modes are separated by a single pipe. Okay. I hope this is clear what we are doing here. Okay. The rest of the thing I'll discuss with you. I'll just come to this modes part now, right? And I want you to participate in this discussion now, because you've studied this topic in first year, that is modes. You studied the file opening modes in C. So let's see what they mean here, right? So see the modes. Now the meanings are also written. Can somebody just raise hand and enter into a discussion with me so that we can discuss all these modes? Come on, volunteer. So many students, 60 students are attending this lecture. I just want a few volunteers. Two people to raise hands, please. Angad, you can lower your hands. You've answered many questions. I want people now. Inder also, Manpreet also. New people. Kabir, okay. We'll ask Kabir. Some more hands, please. I'll just ask Kabir and Tamanna. I think Tamanna has raised hands. First, I'll unmute Kabir
Yes, sir.
and Tamanna. Okay, Tamanna, you can unmute yourself. So Tamanna and Kabir, you are with me. Tamanna, explain what is the meaning of iOS out. The meaning is written. You must illustrate it a bit.
Sir, open the file for writing only. As in C, we open a file in read mode also, in write mode also. Sir, in this case, we can open a file in the writing mode only.
Tamanna, what it means? What is the technical meaning of this? Kabir, you can answer. Both of you stay with me, right? Okay. Kabir, can you answer this?
Yes, sir. Sir, iOS out. If you open a file and in the writing mode to write the contents into the file.
That is the meaning, Kabir. I'm asking you what happens behind the scenes. What happens? You're not giving the correct answer with
The,
that, I
the
suppose.
file is searched if present and
All right, go ahead. It's on a better line now.
a file is searched if present, sir. It is opened uh, and the contents are overwritten
Perfect. That
if
is the right
there are
answer.
already contents.
That is the right answer. That when you open a file in a out mode, and if the file exists, its contents, existing contents are overwritten and a new file is there. And if the file does not exist, then a new file is created. That is the meaning of out. Okay. What about in? Simran, you can
Uh,
answer if you are unmuted.
Sir, iOS scope of resolution is used for opening a file in which we can only do the reading part and
Uh,
not
Is
the
there
writing.
any restriction on this opening?
Uh, Yes, sir, we cannot write anything or we cannot edit.
So Manna, can you answer this part?
Sir, yes, sir, we can only read from here, but we can't write.
Kabir, can you answer this?
Yes, sir. I think if the file doesn't exist, we get an error.
Perfect. That is a technical part. We must understand the technicality of these operations. If you're opening up a file in mode, that is for reading, right? Then if the file does not exist, it will give you an error. Okay. For the in mode, the file must exist. But if I'm mentioning in and out simultaneously, then there is no problem because out is going to create it. Okay. All right. Let's get back to our program. So if I am opening this file ajay1.txt, iOS out and iOS in, listen this question very carefully. I'm opening this file in this mode and the file exists, ajay1.txt exists. What will happen? Raise your hands to answer this question. And please, most of you answer. You'll by the end of this topic, today's lecture, you will understand what is file handling. So please keep on answering, even if it is incorrect, doesn't matter. I've asked you one question that if I open this file ajay1.txt in the modes that are shown on the screen, out and in, what will happen if the file is already existing? Yes, please answer this question. Raise your hands again now. Simran, you wait. I'll ask you later on. Yeah. There's so many other students here. Why they are not answering? So many other students are there. Okay, let's pick up a few. Let's ask Anmol Chawla. Is good in programming. Anmol, you can answer this question.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, go
Good
ahead.
morning, sir.
Good morning, Anmol. Can you answer like if you open and if this file ajay1.txt is already existing, what will happen?
Sir, it will open in write mode.
No, no,
And,
no, 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 no. Forget about the modes. Just answer this question. This file is already existing. So you are opening it in and out, read and write mode. I'm asking you what will happen to the file. It is already existing.
Sir, the content in the file will be erased to overwrite it.
Very good. So whenever we are opening the file like this in and out mode, a new file, if ajay1.txt is there, its previous content should be deleted and a new file would be created. Okay. So if we are, adding data to a file, then obviously we won't be opening the file in this mode. Okay. I hope all of you have understood what I'm trying to say, that if I need to add something to this file ajay1.txt is already existing. If I want to add some more data to it, then opening it in this mode is not good because it is going to delete the previous contents. Okay. For that, I'm adding some more modes here. Kindly have a look, then we'll have a discussion. iOS 8. I'm opening up this iOS 8. So you can see here in your PPT, the iOS 8 is there. So let's just put it here. Yeah, iOS 8. Can you see? Go to the end of the file. Okay. Go to the end of file on opening and iOS app append to the end of file. So app and 8 modes, listen carefully, you may write if you wish. App and 8 modes, both of them, when they are used in opening a file, they take the file to the end, the pointer, the cursor to the end of the file. Okay. And they help you to edit or update data in your file, add data in your file. The difference is with 8, you can update your file or you can add data anywhere in your file. But with app, you can only add data at the end. Okay, so if your idea is to make updates in your file, you must pick in, out, and 8. If it is just to add more data, okay, then in, out, and app. Okay, I hope you have understood this distinction. If yes, you can again raise your hands, all of you. If you have understood the difference between app and 8, you need to raise your hands, all of you. All of you, all of you. You're raising hands in a very slow manner. All right. All right. Fine. So we have discussed in, out, app, and 8. Okay. The rest, I'll share this PPT with you, or you can have a snapshot. You can read it. Once you use the other modes, you'll understand. Okay. Right. So just these four, in, out, app, add, would be sufficient to write all your code. For example, if you want that you're opening a file, okay, and if the file already exists, then the open will fail if you use the iOS no replace mode. So the meanings are clear, okay. And IS no create is there, trunk is there, you can read them. But for our application development or learning file handling, in, out, 8 and app are sufficient. So remember, I'm repeating, in, when you want to read data from a file, for this the file must exist. Out would open a file for storing data into the file, and if the file exists, it will overwrite it. So if you want that your file is not overwritten, you must choose one of the modes along with in and out, that is either 8 or app. 8 would help you to make changes in your file anywhere. With 8, the pointer can move anywhere in the file. With app, the pointer stays at the end and moves in the further direction. So with app, you can only add data at the end. With 8, you can move anywhere in the file and you can make changes. All right. Let's see what's next is there. Next, we have some file pointer functions. I'll go back to the program once we are through with some more basics. So I just said that with 8, you can move your file pointer to anywhere in the program. So file pointer is basically something which helps you to either read data from a specific position or write data to a specific position. Okay. So there are 4 pointers: seekg, seekp, tellg, and tellp. The meanings are written there. Okay. So seekg moves the get pointer to a specified location. Okay. And seekp moves the put pointer to a specified location. As you go through the file handling in C++, you will see that seekg and seekp are almost same. You can use them interchangeably, right? So seekg or seekp would do the same this thing. And tellg and tellp would tell you where your pointer currently is. Okay. Just the first four bullets of this particular slide. Have a look. Seekg, seekp, tellg, tellp. We'll be using these. Okay. So tellg would tell you where your get pointer is, or tellp would tell you where your put pointer is. I would say it would tell you where your pointer is. You can take it like this. Okay. So let's see the working of all of these now. Okay. Let's see the working now. Now look at this program. What I'm doing in this program is I'm taking a string and I'm transferring each character of the string into a file ajay1.txt. Okay. And I'm opening the file in, out, and 8 mode. Okay. So I'm writing something here. Okay. And I would like to ask you, what would be printed? You can raise hands. I hope you can see all the things simultaneously, the slide also. Inderjeet Singh wants to answer. I'm asking you what this cout f1.tellp would print. So I'm basically, I want to see where my pointer is when I've opened the file. We discussed where the pointer is when we use the file in 8 mode. Okay. So some new students, maybe Inderjeet, Manpreet have already answered. Yes, we have Aditya Nath Jha. Can you please unmute yourself, Aditya? Aditya, can you unmute yourself? I want to interact with new students also. Okay. Aftab Ansari, can you unmute yourself? I hope you're listening. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Is it Aftab?
Yes, sir.
Aftab, can you answer what will be printed when I use f1.tellp? It is going to print some number that where my file pointer is. So can you suggest what it will print when I run this part? All right, no answer. Maybe we can have answer from Anurag Tiwari. Anurag, unmute yourself. Anurag, can you unmute yourself? He's
40,
allowed.
sir.
Okay. I just missed the answer from Aftab, I think. So let's ask Jasmeet Kaur. Jasmeet, unmute yourself, please.
गुड मॉर्निंग सर
Good morning.
सर मेरे ख्याल से सर ये ना अगर तो फाइल में कोई डेटा होगा तो पॉइंटर वो जो स्टार्टिंग मतलब स्टार्टिंग को पॉइंट करेगा मतलब
0.
1 0 0 अगर फाइल में डेटा होगा तो एंड पे पॉइंट करेगा
वेरी गुड, वेरी गुड. तो अभी तो इस फाइल में डेटा मेरे ख्याल से नहीं है, ठीक है. लेट्स
ओके
सी
सर
वेदर वी गेट अ 0 देयर.
ओके सर
So we get a 0 there, right? You've got a 0 there. The rest is something else that we'll see. So that is the correct answer. I'll just mute you. Yeah. Let's now do the program now. Okay, focus all of you on the program. We'll do this one complete program using these modes and two functions, put and get. Okay, I'll tell you what put does. Put is used to transfer a single character to a file. Okay, and get is used to read a single character from a file. I repeat, when you're using the put and the get functions, both these functions are a part of the fstream class, so they can be used by the object of the fstream class. So put is used to transfer a single character to a file, and get is used to read a single character from a file. So what I'm doing here is I'm entering a string from the keyboard, and then I am calculating its length. Okay, I'll just put this as a comment here. Okay, then I'm using a for loop going from 0 to n minus 1, or it can go from 0 to less than n also. So basically I'll read each character from the string, whatever string I enter there, and I will transfer it character by character into the file. f1.put would transfer each character into the file aj1.txt. Okay, fine. And let's make this a comment for the time being, so that we can focus on our code here. Okay, so I'm just doing this. See what I'm doing. I'm entering a string here. Okay, this is not actually the file handling that we would be dealing with later on, but just to make up a base for that, I'm taking this simple problem. Okay, our file handling will start in the next 15-20 minutes, the actual part, the actual application development part in 15-20 minutes. But to reach there, you must see these small programs, right? So I'm entering a string, and then each character of the string is transferred to the file using this put function. f1.put, and then si would be each character, s0, s1, so on, right? So let's run this program. Okay, I'm running this program. I'm entering a string, right? That's the end of the program. Okay, I've just entered, and this for loop will transfer all the characters into this. So if we go here to DOS shell and we type the contents of aj1.txt, you will see that the string, it was there, something was there prior to that also. Okay, it's not an empty file, so just let's make it an empty file here. Okay, a new file aj2.txt, so that we are clear with our discussion. So I store this string here. Okay, and I go to DOS shell, I can see the contents of aj2. So it stored the string Ajay Sharma, right? This is the use of the put function, transfers a single character to a file. Okay, now next is I want to read from the file, right? So one very important aspect, I'm using the file in a multi-purpose mode. I said I'll be doing input with the file, output, and 8 means I should be able to move the pointer anywhere. Okay, so one question now, very important question. Yeah, I think there is some power issue here. Just a second. Huh? I'm having a just a break for yes, I'm back. I'm back. There was some power issue. Everything is fine now. So we were discussing this program here. Okay. So I was telling you that this we are opening this file in input output in this mode, and if I just remove this part from here, no, let's see that. Now I want to read from this file. I've entered this thing in the file. Okay. Now I want to read from the file. Can somebody suggest me what to do now? I'll open the program here also. I've written something. Okay. I'll just remove it. Doesn't mean anything. Okay. Like this. I want an answer on this because only then we can understand this seek G and tell P and tell G properly. Okay. My question is, I've just entered Ajay Sharma. I'll run it again and again enter Ajay Sharma in it. Okay. I'll pick up a new file name here because that would be an important concept here. Let's suppose we have ajay3.txt file and I enter Ajay Sharma in it. So once I've entered and this for loop runs, what would this f1.tellg return? I want an answer from any one of you, please. Yes, Inder, you can answer. It should be
14.
14. Okay, let's hear from Angad. Angad, go ahead.
सर 14 ही होगा सर.
ऐसा क्या कर दिया हमने? 14 क्यों हो गया? अजय शर्मा हमने स्टोर किया फाइल में, 14 कैसे हो गया? मुझे बताएंगे अंगद?
सर पहले तो सर वो एंड ऑफ फाइल पर पॉइंट करना शुरू करेगा एंड देन सर जब हम रीड कर लेंगे तो वो फिर सर लास्ट में ही चला जाएगा सर वो.
ओके. यस कबीर, यू कैन आंसर. Kabir, you can answer.
Sir, n-1.
No.
स्ट्रिंग लेंथ सर n है ना, तो 0 से स्टार्ट होगा तो पॉइंटर.
No. I'm surprised actually, you can lower your hands now. I'm surprised that I'm not getting the correct answer for this. I've said I will enter a string Ajay Sharma. So obviously when I'm opening the file here, the file is blank. Okay, I'm using a new file. So the pointer is in the beginning. So when you transfer the Ajay space Sharma 11 characters into it, okay, then after that the pointer is at the 11th byte because 11 characters are stored from 0 to 10. So f1.tellg should return 11. I don't know how you're relating it to string and string length. Okay, let's run this part. Okay. I'm entering a string Ajay Sharma. So you can see 11 is there. Okay. What was the problem here? So just try to understand this thing. Okay. Now wait, all of you. Just try to understand this thing. I'll just write it here in one way. So when I'm storing, when I'm opening here, so यहाँ भी एक बार ही लिख लेते हैं, यहाँ लिखते हैं ताकि so that you understand this thing very clearly. ये पॉइंटर की पोजीशन जब फाइल ओपन की है तब डिस्प्ले करवाते हैं, ठीक है? जब ट्रांसफर किया है तब करते हैं. Okay, after transferring characters. तो बाकी सब हटा देते हैं. See now, let's run it. So I'm transferring, say, Kabir Piplani. Okay, see now, pointer is at byte 11. See, when I opened the file, Ajay3 is already existing. Okay, so Ajay Sharma was preserved. Listen carefully, Ajay Sharma was preserved, and after entering these characters, now the file is at pointer 24. If this is clear to all of you, because Ajay3.txt, if you see this file here, it is having the contents Ajay Sharma, Kabir Piplani. Okay, fine. So when I open the file, now if I open the file, where the pointer would be? When I open the file, actually this should be, I'll just put it here, the exact part of this should be, so that we can understand it very clearly. The first step that we do is we open the file. Okay, so first I'm opening the file Ajay3.txt. Okay, so the total number of characters in it, that would be the pointer position, because we are opening it in 8 mode. See now, when I open it, so 24 characters are already there. 23 characters or 24 characters are there, stored from 0 to 23. I'll store a string now, say Abhay. Okay, so now it would be 24 and 5, 29. Okay, now it is at 29. Why I am discussing all this? Because now I want to read from the file. So what I should do? Now raise your hands, please. What I should do now? इतना ये पार्ट समझ में आएगा तभी फाइल एंडिंग समझ में आएगी, नहीं तो नहीं आएगी, because we'll be moving to some good functions, interesting functions ahead. Okay, इंदर बताइए.
Sir, now the function used is fget.
No, you tell me अब करना क्या है फाइल को रीड करने के लिए. फंक्शन कैसे करना वो छोड़ दीजिए. आप बताइए कि we need to read from the file. तो क्या करें? Manpreet wants to answer. Yes, Manpreet.
Sir, firstly we move our pointer to the beginning of the file.
That's very right. That is the right answer. कि अभी हमने देखा जैसे कि हमारा जो पॉइंटर है, if I just show you the output screen here, okay, you can see after transferring Abhay to our file, it was Ajay Sharma, Kabir Piplani, Abhay. All these strings are there in the file. So after transferring, the cursor position currently is 29. अगर मैं इस पोजीशन से रीड करना शुरू करूंगा, ठीक है, तो कुछ रीड ही नहीं करेगा. So I must bring the pointer to the beginning of the file. Okay, so for that what we do here is, for transferring the pointer, for seeing its position, we use tell G or tell P. That will display where the pointer is. To move the pointer physically, we require seek. So I can use f1.seek P, f1.seek G 0. Okay, now this will bring the pointer to the 0 byte or the beginning of the file. Okay, you can also use it with this, just to show the usage. That means with relation to the current position, bring it to offset to 0. But for your programming purpose, this one is sufficient. Bring it to 0. So now it will come to the beginning of the file, and now we can use this. Okay, another way of using the end of the file. So the pointer is at the beginning. You use a while loop and you use this f1.euf. Okay. How it works? f1.euf is going to return true when the file ends. Listen carefully. f1.euf is going to return true when the end of file has occurred. So that true, that not operator will make it false and your while will end. This is one way of doing it. Okay. So, and after that f1.getch would read one character and would print that character. And this will keep on happening till the time we read all the characters and we reach the end of the file. And then again we are printing the cursor position. Again it would be 29. So you can see how our program runs. There's some problem here. Yeah. So I'll enter here in there. Okay. So now it would be 2933 and you can see all the characters, they have been displayed and you can see the cursor position also. Okay. Is that fine? If you wish, so we can insert some new line here. Okay. Let's enter another string, say Simran. Now it becomes 6 characters 40. So this is the position. Okay. All these strings are there. We have displayed all the whatever is the content of the file by using this. Okay. Look at this. By using this way of using the end of file. See here, this portion without this not, f1.uf will return when the file ends, it will return true. This not will make it false and the loop will end. You can also do like this if you wish. You can use infinite loop here. You can read here and then you can use the same f1.euf. Okay, then you should break. You can remove this part from the program if you wish, if you don't want to enter a string, or you can run it also. Okay, do it. Let's enter a string now, say Tamanna. Okay, so 7 characters, now it becomes 47 after transfer. You can see all the things here. See that we have used the end of the file like this also. So there are multiple ways of using the end of file. For your reference, I'll add it as a comment that you can write like this also, so that you can refer to it later on. Okay, I'll make it as a comment so that you remember that this way also you can use the end of the file. Okay, so we have done the get and the put function which transfer a single character at a time. Okay, once again, time for any questions that you want to ask. Then we move to very interesting thing now that you would like. Okay, the actual file handling in C++, the actual functions that we use. So if there are any questions, you can please ask. I'll be more than happy to answer your questions. Some of the students, like most of the students are known to me. Some are new. Okay, let's ask Geetika. Yes, Geetika, unmute yourself, please. Geetika, you can unmute yourself.
Yes, good morning, sir.
Good morning. Geetika, all clear till this point? Have you understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Then we can ask Jashanpreet Kaur to unmute. Jashanpreet, are you there with us? Okay. Not reachable. Jyoti, can you unmute yourself?
Yes, sir. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. ज्योति समझ में आ गया सबने जो जितना पढ़ा अभी तक?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Try to run it also. Let's now ask Kem Singh. Kem Singh, can you unmute yourself? Kem Singh, unmute yourself.
Yes, sir. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Kem Singh, understood?
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you, beta. Thank you. All right. Let's ask now Mitali. Mitali, unmute yourself.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Mitali, understood?
Yes, sir.
All right. So let's move ahead to something interesting now. Okay. So let's close this PPT. We don't require it now. Let's switch to C++, full mode. You see what we do now when we are writing some applications, then we don't transfer characters. We are dealing with some concrete, data, right? So let's imagine that we want to store some student data into a file. That would be a more relevant question, right? I want to store the student details, just the roll number and name into a file so that I can refer to it later on, right? So for that, we require a class object to be interacting with your file rather than these variables, the string variables or the characters. We require an entire class to be linked up with a file. Okay. So I'll open up one program for you. Okay. For this purpose, look at it very carefully. Very interesting program. With the help of this, I'll be, transferring. Now your classes and objects would also be revised. There's a class with the name as 2. Okay. There are 2 members in it. Okay. And I'll make these members for the time being. Usually you say that member variables should be taken as private and member functions as public so that they are accessible. I'm taking everything public right now just for the sake of simplicity. All right. Then I've taken a member int rn and char name. Okay. See the size. What is the size of this class? If we take int is 2 bytes, name is 20 bytes. So the size is 22 bytes. Okay. Just now listen to me for 10 minutes without, raising your hands, without asking any questions, so that we can learn very interesting things right now. Now I want to, my idea about, this program a2.cpp is to transfer student data so that I can store it permanently in a file so that I can refer to it, I can work on it, I can add things to it later on. Okay. And let me just add another thing here so that the things are clear. Say float marks, another member here, float marks. Okay. And another thing here, I'll just add the message here, enter the marks. And I will use C in marks. Okay. This is my get function, and in show function, I'll display the marks here. Okay. And I can put some space here. Later on, instead of spaces, you can use some manipulators, set W sort of thing in your projects. Okay. So I'm using a class with the 3 members, roll number, name, and marks. Using a get function to enter the student details, the roll number, name, and the marks, and a show function to display the student details. And I've created an object of this class with the name as S1. All right. So I'll just come back to my Windows part. If this thing that now I need your interaction totally. If this thing is clear, what I'm trying to do, the class part, if it is clear, give me a raised hand, all of you. You need to be interactive with me. If you've understood what I'm trying to do, you should give me a raised hand. Give me a raised hand. Raise your hands, please, that you've understood what I'm trying to do. I've created this class for you with 3 members and 2 member functions, get and show, which are going to enter the data, get and show is going to display the data. Okay. And then in my main function, I've used a file. Okay. I'm using a file, say, creating a file, student, in the mode iOS in and iOS out. Okay. ये चीजें थोड़ी सी निकाल देते हैं. I'll go at one thing at a time so that you understand. सब निकाल देते हैं. See the main program now. In the main program, I first create an object of the Fstream class. Then I open a new file for reading as well as writing. Okay. And then I use this s1.get to input the student details. Can you see get function is to input the student details. So I'll get the student details from the user. Okay. And with this function now, a new function in front of you, very important, write function. Okay. So you would ask, sir, what is the difference between the put function that we used, which was transferring a single character to a file, and the write function? Okay. See, when you use a put function, the files that you deal with become text files. When you use a write function, then you're dealing with binary files. Okay. So appropriate for us to give it a extension here as student.dat. Okay. So what this write function does, it has got two arguments. Okay, write function has two arguments. One is the variable, okay, which needs to be written into the file. Listen carefully. Write function has two arguments. One is the variable which needs to be written into the file. The second one is the size of that variable, that how many bytes are to be transferred into the file. Okay, and this variable ampersand s1 जो लिखा है हमने, it should be cast to a array of char. That is the syntax that is required. f1 dot write like this. Right? Fine. So what I'm doing here in my program, I am opening a file, then I am inputting the data using this get function here, s1.get. So it will say enter the roll number, name and marks. Once I've got that in these details in the variable s1, I will write that variable s1 using this f1.write. So all these details go to your file student.dat. Okay, and then I close the file. Okay, fine. We'll see the output of this program in a while. Okay, first let's have some there's some problem with the polls. Are you able to hear me, all of you? Are you able to hear me? Give me a raised hand if you're able to hear me. Okay. Yeah, some problem with this. The polls are not visible. So let's be like that. Say that I've logged from some other device. All right, fine. So no polls. Let it be like that only. Let's concentrate on this. So one question to you: when I run this program, what will happen? The program is in front of you, and I would definitely like an answer from you, please. Thank you. Raise your hands to answer this question. The program is there in front of you. The entire program, there is a class, and the main function you can see, we are inputting data and we are storing data into the file. Okay. So first question, once we do this thing, once we transfer data, what is the size of the file student.dat? Okay, what is the size of the file student.dat? So Angad wants to answer. Fine, Angad, we'll take your answer. Yes, Angad.
सर इस प्रोग्राम में जो भी ऑब्जेक्ट है वो सर कॉपी हो जाएगा सर फाइल.
Okay, ठीक है, fine. What would be the size of the file when I run this?
सर इंट का तो 2 बाइट्स होगा.
Okay.
नेम का डिपेंड करेगा वो कितने बाइट्स का होगा.
ठीक है.
फ्लोट है तो 4 बाइट्स का होगा.
Marks 4 bytes का होगा. Okay, let's hear from Inderjeet. क्या कहना चाहते हैं? Inderjeet, your answer? Yes, Inder. Inder, your voice is not clear. Oh no, not clear. I can't hear you, Inder. Sorry.
Sir, it will contain 26 bytes.
It will contain 26 bytes. That is the correct answer. Angad, ऐसा नहीं होगा कि name जितना होगा उतना size होगा. Once you have defined a size of 20, that entire 20 would be taken. Okay. So 2 for roll number, 20 for name, and 4 for marks. So total size of the file would be 26 bytes. Okay. So I'm going to run this program now. Okay. I'm going to run it. Okay. I'll enter the roll number, the name, and the marks. Okay. So the program is over. Let's see now. Go to DOS shell and look for this file first. Okay, you can see 26 bytes. Can you see the file has been created at 10:56 and the size is 26 bytes. Okay, and if I try to type the contents, okay, it is not a text file, remember. Okay, so you can see that there are some coding is there. Text would always come as same, but otherwise you can see the roll number and marks are not like what you entered. Okay, so this is the write function. Okay, write function here. Can you see the write function? What does write function do? It will transfer this variable s1, which is right now an object of the class stu, and 26 bytes would be transferred. Okay, अब इसका next part करते हैं. Now we need to open the file. The file is already in the in mode. We want to uh, read from it. So what I can do here is I can put another this thing here and I can put an 8 mode so that next time I open this file it is safe. Okay. So let's enter something into it, say 102 Seema and say 34. Let's run it again. 103 Deepak and 65. So I've added 3 records now. Okay. So what should be the size of the file? We can see here. It is 78 bytes, right? 26 into 3 is 78. For every record that I enter, the size of is 26. So I've entered one record 26, two records 52, three records 78. So 3 records are there now in this file student.dat. Okay. Now I want to read all these records and display them using this show function. Okay. So simple. Instead of closing this file here, I should not close it. I should move the pointer first to which position? To the beginning of the file. Okay. And then I can use the same concept that I used before. I can use a while. Okay. Now to read data from a file, the read and write function, they are almost similar in writing. Okay. So I can just use this f1.read char star and s1 size of s1. I can write something like this and then I can write f1.show. Look very carefully for this code. Okay. And of course I need to find if f1.eof, then I should break. This is my while loop. Fine. Is it clear how we are going to read? We are going to read through the read function. And first I start with the bringing the pointer to byte 0, beginning of the file. Then I start an infinite loop. Then when I read, see, first time when I use this f1.read, it will read 26 bytes from the file. That is the first record. Okay, 26 bytes. And associate it with the object s1. Okay, it will read it into s1. So yeah, here we have written something wrong here. It should be s1.show. So when I use s1.show, this show function would be there and the roll number and name and the marks would be displayed. Okay. Then it will check for the end of the file. If it is end of the file, it will break. Otherwise, again, it will go here. It will read the next 26 bytes and so on. So in this way, it will read everything and it will display the data to you. So I'll just use the display part now. मैं right part को भी comment कर देता हूँ, get your right को, so that you can understand. Okay. Yeah. So let's run this part. Okay. Okay. So it is displaying now. It is displaying the one record again. Okay. That is some problem, and there. So I won't suggest this way of reading. It gives problems like sometimes. Okay. So easier way now, listen very carefully. The best way for you to read from a file would be to do this. See what I'm going to do here. Put that read in the while itself, the easiest way and the correct way. Okay. Put that read in the nothing now. That's it. That's over. I put the read in the while itself. So it will keep on reading till the end of file has occurred. Okay. No need to use EOF function. So while f1.read, it will just keep on showing. Now it will show you the correct answer. Okay, so when you're using a file, end of file can be tricky sometimes. Some problems can occur. The best way to use end of file in your data files would be to just put this read function in the while itself. Okay, and so that you can display. Now what you're doing here is you are bringing the pointer to 0 byte first. Why so? Because when you are opening a file in 8 mode, its contents are preserved and the pointer is at the end of the file. So can somebody tell me if I run this program with this now? Okay. just to say कि जब file open की है तो what is the file position, okay? What would be the file position here? Raise your hands to answer this question. The same people, Manpreet Singh, okay? Manpreet, please answer.
Sir, 77.
सोच लो 77 की अब देखो ये कंफ्यूजन है that means you've not understood. अच्छा बताओ total size
78 bytes are
total size कितना है? What is the total size of the file?
so it goes to 79.
I'm asking you what is the total size of the file? No answer. Let's have an answer from Angad. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Angad, what would be the output of this f1.tlp when I've opened the file like this? I've opened and I'm checking where the file pointer is. So obviously it is at the end if we are using 8, right? So what would be printed? What value would be printed? Manpreet is not sure. He says 77, 78 or 79. आप बताइए.
सर जितनी भी बाइट्स होंगी सर लास्ट में जितना होगा
देखो 70 हमने देखा था 78 बाइट्स हैं. वी कैन सी अगेन. फिर से
sir.
देख लेते हैं. नहीं आप बताइए हम फिर से देख लेते हैं. ये लीजिए directories to star dot star. You can see student dot dat. You can see 78 bytes. ठीक है. Student dot dat 78 bytes. तो बताइए फिर जब मैं tlp यूज करूंगा तो पॉइंटर कहां पर होगा? This is important because when you are updating or deleting, this information would come handy there.
सर 78 पर भी होगा.
78 पर ही होगा. That's right. You see 78 is the total size, the current size. So 78 size means that the contents are stored from byte 0 to byte 77. Okay, and currently the pointer is at byte 78. Okay, so let's see that. क्या कर दिया हमने? Yeah, you can see file position is 78. We'll just put a new line here so that it is more readable. Yeah. See, file position is 78. Manpreet, I hope it's clear now. Okay. So if there are 3 records and the total size of the file is 78, the cursor would be at the 78 byte and all the previous contents are from 0 to 77. Okay. So I hope that's why it is important and necessary for us to write this f1.seekg0 to bring it to the beginning because we want to read from the beginning. So if I just omit this, what will happen? अगर मैं ये ना नहीं लिखता हूँ और ये प्रोग्राम चलाता हूँ फिर क्या होगा बताइए? You can raise hands to answer this question. That if I open the file and I just start reading from it without looking that with the 8 mode the file pointer is at the end. Okay, so what will happen is it won't read anything. Nothing would be displayed. That's it. It's not reading anything. Nothing is displayed. Okay, so I think this concept is clear of read and write. Let's have another look at it. The functions, they are very simple. Now I'll just make it this thing full so that you can use it. Yeah, the entire program is okay now. It is helping you to store student data and read student data. Okay, fine. So any questions till this point? If there are any questions you can ask. I'm surprised you're not asking any questions. Most of you, you're very good students, I have taught you, but आप कुछ पूछ ही नहीं रहे हैं. Online class में तो you need to ask a lot. Okay, Angad wants to ask something.
Sir, can we use CSV files?
CSV files we can use, but there are other options with that. Like we have Python, we have Hadoop technology for that. Okay, because CSV file are huge files. The idea in C, C++ programming is still the traditional. In C, it could be machine level also, but like latest technologies would help you to analyze the CSV or the JSON files very easily. Okay, use them. Use Python and Hadoop and all.
Okay,
Yes.
sir.
Inderjit, you want to ask something? You've raised your hand.
सर हम अपना डाटा सर जैसे बिग डाटा ऑनलाइन डाटाबेसेस आते हैं जैसे क्लाउड कंप्यूटिंग जैसे आ जाती है सर उसमें डाटा स्टोर करवा सकते हैं अपना
तो करवा सकते हैं, क्लाउड को तो यूज कर सकते हैं ऑन अ पे बाय यूजेज सर्विस। तो क्लाउड पे तो आजकल बहुत लोग यूज करते हैं, स्पेस लेते हैं फाइल स्टोर करने के लिए। इट्स वेरी चीप आल्सो। यस, यू कैन डू दैट।
Yes, sir.
राइट।
Sir, how we attach the files to the cloud?
नहीं,
Sir,
क्लाउड में हमें अपलोड करना पड़ता है ना। क्लाउड में अगर हमें सपोज अपनी फाइल्स को, जैसे हम एक अपनी हार्ड डिस्क के ऊपर स्टोर करते हैं फाइल्स, हार्ड डिस्क इज विद अस। क्लाउड इज क्लाउड यू कैन कंसिडर एज अ डिस्टेंट, अ डिस्टेंट हार्ड डिस्क कहीं पड़ी हुई है, वहाँ उनका सर्वर है, तो उसके
Yes, sir.
ऊपर आपने वो स्पेस जो है वो परचेज कर ली है। सो यू कैन जस्ट अपलोड डेटा देयर, इट स्टेज देयर, व्हेनेवर यू वांट टू डाउनलोड यू कैन यूज इट, इट्स सेफ देयर। और उसके बहुत रीजनेबल चार्जेस होते हैं क्लाउड के। आई थिंक अराउंड जस्ट for 1 TB you spend about 1200 to 1500 rupees a year. That's it. It's very very cheap. आपने यूज नहीं किया मेरे ख्याल से अभी तक, है ना?
No, sir.
You can use it. There are many providers for that. All right.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Still waiting for your questions. अगर questions हैं तो please पूछिए। तब तक मैं कुछ और बच्चों से बात करता हूँ, बहुत देर के बाद बात हो रही है आज। देखें और कौन बच्चे हैं। Nitika is there. Okay, Nitika, unmute yourself. Nitika Neb, unmute yourself. Not there. Okay. Then we have हाँ, ये कौन है? Priya Mehta, unmute yourself. Priya, are you attending the class? Priya, unmute yourself. बच्चे सो तो नहीं रहे सब? मेरे को लग रहा है कि बच्चे हैं भी कि नहीं हमारे साथ। स्पर्श, स्पर्श मेहरा, unmute yourself.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. How are you, Sparsh?
Fine, sir. You tell.
I'm good too. आप बताइए कैसे आपकी क्लासेस ऑनलाइन ठीक चल रही हैं? All is good with online
Yes.
classes?
Yes, sir.
All right. Great. 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 Okay, so we got a pause. Now let's move to the next part. That is, we have just seen how to read from a file. Now we are talking of data files. With the help of read and write functions, we deal with data files or binary files. Okay, and the read function and the write function we've just seen. We have just seen how to check the end of the file. Okay, that is by just putting your read function in the while loop itself, and the while loop will run till the time the file reaches its end, and as soon as the end of the file is reached, the while loop will run will end automatically. Okay, now let's extend this discussion here. Let's try to update from this file student.dat. Okay, मैं इसको पहले एक बारी डिस्प्ले कर लेता हूँ, कुछ एक रिकॉर्ड्स और ऐड कर लेते हैं. Let's add 109, say Sparsh, and say let's like 78. तो उधर हमने ऐड किया और साथ में हम डिस्प्ले भी कर रहे हैं फाइल से, सो रिकॉर्ड इज बीइंग डिस्प्लेड आल्सो. ठीक है. नाउ द नेक्स्ट टास्क इज कि लेट्स से कि स्पर्श के मार्क्स जो हैं वो 78 है लेकिन 82 हो गए हैं अब. ठीक है, दे आर इंक्रीज्ड. ओके, आई नीड टू अपडेट द मार्क्स ऑफ स्पर्श from 78 to 82. Okay, fine. So what to do about that? Okay, for that I've written a small code. You can have a look at it. Okay, अब ये क्लास हमने थोड़ी डिफरेंट ले ली है, so let's write in that A2 itself. A2 में ही कर लेते हैं, सेव एज कर लेते हैं A2 को. Let's make a file A4. Yeah, fine. So A4 we'll do the update operation. Okay, अब यहाँ से बाकी सब निकाल देते हैं. इसको ध्यान से देखना, ये this is the logical thing that you would require in your project. The same file is there. अब बाकी सब कुछ निकाल देते हैं, ये सब छोड़ देते हैं, कुछ नहीं चाहिए हमें, ये रख लेते हैं. Yeah. See now, let's have a discussion. We have opened the file student.dat. Obviously the pointer is at the end, so I bring it to the beginning. I need to find, first of all, whether the student that I'm looking for, that is Sparsh, whether the student is there or not. If the student is found, then I'll do the updation part, right? Okay. So for that, what I do here, obviously you need to search the student on some key basis. For example, if we are talking of students, the key would be roll number. If we are talking of employees, the key would be employee number, and so on. Okay. So here in this program, I've got a roll number, member here in my class. So similar to that, I will declare an integer variable r here in which I will input the student roll number, which I want to search from my file. Okay. So let me enter the student roll number. Okay, enter the roll number, and just so I'm entering the student roll number. There are roll numbers stored in the file also. So I'm looking for this roll number R. I will match this R with every record, every roll number of my file, and see whether it is present there or not. So for reading, I put this. Okay, and now for matching, what is the match here? If R is equal to s1.rn. I'm matching this roll number that I've entered from the keyboard with the roll number stored in my file. Okay, so if it matches, what I do here is I take some variable k here as 1 and I break. The usage of such variables, they are known as flag variables. Okay, and I'll put k here as 0. Okay, I hope you understood what I'm trying to do. Have a look at the code clearly. I open the file, I bring the pointer to position 0. Now I enter a roll number which I want to search from the file. I read record from the file. So when this read occurs for the first time, it will read the first record. And from that record, the roll number part is s1.rn. It will match with R. So if it is the same roll number that we want to locate, if it is true, then we set the counter or the flag k equal to 1 and we break. That is, we end this loop. Okay, listen very carefully what I'm discussing. So if after the end of this while loop, okay, the question for you, if after the end of this while loop, if the value of the variable, if the value of the variable k is 0, what does that mean? I'm asking you guys a question that if the end of this, okay, some people have raised hand. Tamanna Sharma, yes. Yes, Tamanna.
Sir, if k is equal to 0, this means that that roll number doesn't exist.
Perfect. So if k is 0, we would be very sure that the roll number that we are looking for is not present in the file. And if k is 1, that means that the roll number that we are looking for is present. It can be updated. Its record can be updated. Okay. So इसको यहाँ से निकाल देते हैं. ये भी निकाल, सब कुछ निकाल देते हैं. Right. Now remember, whenever you are reading from a file and you finish reading, you must use this. This I discussed in C also with you. You must use a clear flag so that it does not give you any problems while further reading or writing of files. Okay. Remember this clear flag. It's required whenever you are reading from a file and the reading has finished. So let's assume we are assuming we'll write this particular part of the code assuming that the roll number has been found. Now the next question is, where is the record pointer? Remember there are 78 or whatever bytes in the file. Each record is 26 bytes in size. So my question to you is, where is the record pointer? Let's say, let's suppose I need to run this program again, I think, because only then I can tell you guys. Just a second, huh? I'll just run it. Yeah, nothing to do here. Just get ch here. Am I displaying? Let's display also. It is s1 dot show. I'll display the records. Okay. Everything fine, I suppose. Yeah. Enter the roll number. I'll just enter 101. Okay. What happened is just 101 was found, right? Okay. I'll just enter 106. See, these are the 4 records here. For you to update, you must be very clear about one thing: the position of the record pointer. अभी मैंने 106 लिखा है. अब अपनी कॉपीज में लिख लो कि 4 रिकॉर्ड्स हैं हमारे पास. Let me ask you one question. Let us say I'm looking for the updating CMAS marks, right? So when 102, if I enter 102, it will match with 102 and it will come out of the loop. My question is, where would be the record pointer? Can somebody answer this question? Can somebody answer this question? When, if I am, updating and the second record is found which needs to be updated, where is the record pointer at which byte? So let's say Angad wants to answer. Yes, Angad?
सर वो सर सेकंड रिकॉर्ड को पॉइंट करेगा सर
बाइट बताइए 26 52 क्या होगा
तो 52 स्टार्टिंग बाइट सर
Okay, let's ask Prateek Jodh wants to answer. Yes, Prateek?
यस सर सर 52 होगा क्योंकि वो सेकंड पे है
Second record मिला है. Okay, Aftab
sir.
Ansari wants to answer. Yes, Aftab?
51 sir.
Aftab, it would be, the pointer is in 26 multiples, 26, 52, 78. So you want to say it would be at 52?
Yeah, 50 सर तो पॉइंटर सर वो 0 से सर वो होगा ना
0 से होगा तो पहला रिकॉर्ड जो है ना आफ्ताब वो है 0 to 25. ओके, दूसरा रिकॉर्ड है 26 से 51, तीसरे रिकॉर्ड की बिगिनिंग है 52 to 77 एंड सो ऑन. सो यू टेल मी, अगर सेकंड रिकॉर्ड मैच कर जाता है तो पॉइंटर कहाँ होगा? 52 पे होगा आप बोल रहे हो, ये बताइए.
51 पे सर.
ये 51 तो नहीं होगा ना, दैट आई एम वेरी क्लियर. 51 पे नहीं होगा. ओके, एनी इंदर से भी पूछ लेते हैं. लेट्स हैव एन आंसर ऑफ इंदर आल्सो बिकॉज़ दिस इज इंपॉर्टेंट. जितने भी बच्चों ने आंसर दिया वो सब गलत है, ठीक है? ओके, यस इंदर.
Sir, at 26.
नो नो नो, नॉट एट 26. ओके, नाउ लिसन टू मी ऑल ऑफ यू, ठीक है? जिन्होंने आंसर किया दैट्स वेरी गुड. आंसरिंग इज गुड, बट देन वी मस्ट सी what actually happens here, right? So remember, when you read, see, when you read from here for the first time, okay, I'm pointing it here. When you read from the for the first time, after reading the first record, the pointer is at the beginning of the second record, that is byte number 26. After reading the second record, the pointer is at 52. Okay, and after reading the third, it is at 78, and so on. So if I say that I am looking for, say, 102 roll number, if I enter, okay, so it is the second record. After reading it, the pointer goes to 52. That is the beginning of the third record. One thing, okay, I'll show it to you here. I'll just see out f1 dot tell p, okay, and when I run this program, I'll give 102 as the input. Okay, I'll give 102. You can see 52 is the position. So of course some of you gave the correct answer. I'm sorry, 51 was not the correct, but 52 is the correct answer. So let's discuss further. That's very good that now most of you are answering. Can we edit with the record position at 52? Can we edit the second record? Yes or no? Just raise your hands to give this answer. We are at byte 52, right? And हमारा aim है 102 को edit करना. Yes, प्रतीत?
यस सर कर सकते हैं.
प्रतीत, think carefully and answer. हम लोग थर्ड रिकॉर्ड की बिगिनिंग पर हैं, वहां पर रहते हुए सेकंड रिकॉर्ड को मॉडिफाई कर सकते हैं? ये बताइए.
नो सर नो सर नो सर
नहीं कर सकते,
वो थर्ड
right?
रिकॉर्ड हो जाएगा.
हाँ, वो थर्ड रिकॉर्ड हो जाएगा. Perfect. Now you've understood. Okay. So what needs to be done here is very important thing, that we know that whatever record has been found, जो pointer है, it has gone to the beginning of the next record. So we must bring back the pointer one record back. Okay. How it is done? इसको भी comment बना दें यहाँ. So how it should be done? Have a look on the screen, all of you. First I'll go the simpler way. Okay, I'll take some, yeah, I can go, I think you are in third semester, so no need to go simpler way. I'll move the pointer. Seek p is to move the pointer physically. So f1 dot seek p means I want to shift the pointer from where it is currently. Okay, seek p, and then I'll pick up where it is currently. This is f1 dot tell p is the current position. From that I'll minus the size of S1. I hope it's clear. Okay, and now I'll repeat this. So what I'm doing here, first I check where the pointer is. This is just printing, okay? This is not the actual logic. Only the logic is this. f1.seekp, I'm moving the pointer from f1.lp is its current position minus size of s1. So 52 minus 26, it will come to 26, okay? Let's see it. I'll go with 102 once again. See now. Can you see? From 52, it has moved to 26. That means at the beginning of the second record that I wanted to modify. I hope this point is clear. Only this thing is there, okay? And now you can take some variable here, float, say m, okay? Input the new marks. Input, you wanted to update the marks of roll number 102. So now input the marks. Enter the marks, okay? And then what you should do here is enter the marks m. Now the marks of the second record, they are s1 dot marks, if you remember, okay? S1 dot marks. So store this m in that s1 dot marks equal to m. So whatever the marks are there, देखें कितने marks अभी तो हमने display नहीं कराया ना, अभी display कराते हैं सारे, ठीक है? S1 dot marks m, okay? And then you write the record. Write को ऊपर से copy कर लें यहाँ से. Then what I can do here is I can write into the file. और write कौन सा record होगा, हम अभी second record पे हैं. So the second record would be overwritten. जो उसमें पुरानी values थी वो सब same रहेंगी. Only s1 dot marks would change. It will have the value of m. I think the brackets are okay. 1 2 3 1 2 3, yeah. 1 2 3. And then I can just do here f1 dot close. ठीक है? अब ये सब निकाल दूं. ये भी निकाल देता हूँ. Okay, this is the program. I hope no problems are there. Yeah, everything is fine. We don't use k, no problems. And then you can put some more logic here. Okay, you can make your program very meaningful. वो हम बाद में भी कर सकते हैं कि if k is 0 then student not found, something like this. Okay, now this part of our program will update the marks of the roll number R. Okay, so this is our program A4. Let's save it first. Let's load our program A3, rather A2. इसमें हमारा right भी है. Enter the roll number. Okay, fine. Let's add one more student here, 187, and say Pooja. Oh, this is some other file, which is a marks file A3. It didn't get saved, I suppose. All right, no problem. We can locate our A4 file, that is our latest file. Okay, and let's show the marks here also. So I'm running this code for you. Okay, पहले एक बारी show कर लेते हैं सिर्फ कुछ भी देखे 56. So remember we have got 4 records. Okay, and obviously the later part is running, so ये भी problem रहेगी ना. You see, we have not actually finished this thing here. Okay, so we need for a better logic, because even if whether the record is found or not, it will always write to the file. Okay, so what we can do here is we can say if k equal to 1, only then this should happen, right? So just put it here in this, and then you can say else you can print student not found. All right. So let's enter something invalid, 67. So we will say student not found. You see the marks of, some problem would be there if we just do random some operations. So Seema ke marks 34 and let's change them now. Let's change it to 55. Okay, I'm going to do that. Okay, so I'll be entering the roll number 102. Okay, I'll running this code 102. So it is displayed. The records, obviously two records are displayed, and then you can add 55 here. And the marks, let's suppose they have been updated. Okay, let's run the program again and let's write some random roll number here. You can see the marks of Seema have been updated to 55. And obviously if you enter a roll number which is not there, it will say student not found. So this is the update operation, very very important. And see, the simple logic is, first you search from the records in a loop whether the record is present or not, taking a flag. In our case we have taken K. So if it is there, then you move the cursor one record back, because whenever a record is found, the cursor moves to the beginning of the next record. That is the key here, right? And then you can obviously overwrite with this, like if you added new marks here. So in your object s1.marks, you enter the value of m and then you write the record. Everything else remains the same, just the marks change. All right. So this is the update operation. Fine. So I think the time is also there, and I planned this much today. In my next meeting with you on Friday, I'll be reviewing all these things again, so that if you have not understood, I'll be sharing these programs with you, and I'll be discussing a delete operation. Then I'll be discussing creating a small, menu-based program for a small project in, file handling. We'll do it in say an hour's time, and then I'll discuss the command line arguments with you. So finally, if you have any questions, you can raise your hands, please. All right, then it's been a pleasure to discuss file handling with you and to interact with you after such a long period of time. Till our next meeting, I wish you all the best. Thank you.